welcome to episode 5 of Guest Life, a podcast based on entrepreneurial, Hamilton-based local talent. We really want to dive into, the atmosphere of, how to be an entrepreneur, what it's like. So today we have the awesome privilege of having Shane from Shane Renovations. So thanks, Shane, for coming in.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Really excited to have Shane. We're going to talk about the construction industry, how we give back to our community. We're going to touch on COVID, but we're not really give it too much energy, but a little bit of the challenges and how we've overcome it. So thanks again, Shane, for coming. We're really happy to have you. Shane, known Shane for a while. We have a pretty cool history. Flooded a couple of houses for Shane here and there. So, our relationship runs.
Them, so
he didn't get the benefit of the insurance claims, but that being said, he's here today, and we're happy to have him. So, thanks again. And so, tell us a little bit about Shane and Shane Renovations. It's a contracting company in Ancaster. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Shane Renovations, we are, how we're different is we're a design build company. So we do take your job right from the very beginning. When it's just an idea in your head, when you're starting to try to figure out what to add to your house or what to change to your house, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, you can sit with us, talk to us about that, and we can actually put it into motion, put it on paper, and show you what it's going to look like and work with you until that's developed. The beauty of working with a design build company is it's a one-stop shop. So you walk through the whole design process with us. As we develop the plans, because we will be hopefully the ones building it, we put together a scope and a budget for you as well. Yeah. So as you design, you also know the cost implications, which is a huge thing because a lot of places you go, you just design and it looks amazing, but you're not really sure what it's going to cost. You're kind of hoping it's going to fit in your budget. And then you go out to a contractor and you say, can you price this? And he comes back 50, 60, 70, 100 grand high. And it's the contractor's fault. But technically, because you didn't know what the costs were when you were making decisions during the design, it gets very tough to get what you want for that you can afford. So we take you through the whole design process. We secure permits. We take care of variances if there are. Sure. So we deal with everything that you need to get a full package ready for construction, and then we do the construction. So we basically work with two contracts. Okay. So there's a design agreement and then the construction contract. So you can walk away after the design agreement. That's just completely up to you. Yeah. It's in our best interest to carry, the job into construction. And so that keeps us on our toes. We're going to do the best we can to make sure that our relationship is strong enough and has a good foundation in order for us to continue on with the construction. So.
And then how long, so just to give everybody a little bit of scale, Shane Renovations has how many staff?
Currently, not currently, we did. We did have 25 staff.
Awesome.
So
that's from the designers, yourself. You've got
So we have 7 office staff, including 3 designers, and then so I have a senior designer and 2 junior designers. My administrative assistant, of course, myself. I have a selections coordinator. She gets involved midway through the design and starts helping you decide on siding styles, colors, brick colors, interior product, that kind of stuff.
I tried doing that myself once.
It's everyone thinks I can do this. I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna pick this and I'm gonna pair it with that. And
it's so easy on HGTV. They get it done in half an hour. An entire renovation.
It is. Bar none, it's the most stressful part of every single renovation is picking your selections. Because this is your dream. It's a one-time deal. Like you're not gonna renovate again in a year or 2 or 3 or 4. Maybe in 10 you can call me again. But there's a lot of stress and pressure. Unless you do it all the time. There's so many things, and people forget about little things like all this. Oh yeah, I need hinges and handles and all these. So my selections coordinator just makes sure everything is decided on, everything's picked, everything is picked on time so that the product is there, so that our guys, our project managers, when they can stick to the schedule. There's nothing that kills a renovation quicker than having a tiler there with no tile, yeah, or a plumber with no fixtures. Yeah. So that's it's a huge thing, huge advantage that we offer. And to be honest, it's for the benefit of our clients, but it's also selfishly for the benefit of us. Because my project manager isn't looking at two tiles and the client's like, pick the best one. And my PM is like, yeah, gray or brown, I don't know. But the selections coordinator does have design experience. Yeah, she went through some interior design coursework and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, she can help you with advice on that. At the end of the day, it's your decision, but at least you have somebody guiding you, somebody holding your hand through that process.
Yeah, I find it's better to pick from 4 or 5 options than going into ceramic tile.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Just stores. Leaving with a headache.
Yeah. Even me walking in those stores, I'm just like, wow.
Well, I mean, and I think the showrooms now are really stepping up their game based on the internet and how much sometimes things look different in photos or in someone else's house or design or space, right? Sometimes the colors and the selections are based on the space, right? Putting a massive freestanding tub in a 10 by 10 bathroom doesn't work.
No, absolutely. It's not just about, that one looks amazing and I love it. It has to fit. It has to work with everything else. So yeah, and that's really one of the key elements. So you might end up getting something that you would have never thought you would have got, but because of the design and the layout of everything else, it just works better. Yeah, it just fits the space better. It fits your family better, whatever it is. Yeah, so it is something you want to you don't want to just jump in and be like that and that. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of the key things to the whole renovation process.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. And I think it goes to show kind of the experience and the the expertise that you bring to the table when it comes to the renovations. A lot of our listeners are young entrepreneurs or seasoned entrepreneurs or business owners, but also people involved just within the community or involved in business. What makes you get out of bed in the morning, have a smile on your face? You know what I mean? You're always go, go, go. Obviously, I'm sure you're a very productive person day in and day out. And I know that you got a family and young kids and sports and stuff like that. So kind of break it down from the business side. But what keeps you motivated day in and day out?
It's a lot of what keeps me motivated is the relationship aspect of my business. Yeah, I think anybody that becomes an entrepreneur has a drive, and that drive is in there somewhere. So I think that's kind of a given. But for me, the thing that really keeps me going is meeting new people, and I love it. I love meeting somebody, walking through their house for the first time, and hearing what they want and what they hope for, and then explaining to them how we can make it happen, and seeing their faces like, oh wow, yeah, we never even thought about that. That's probably the thing I look forward to the most. Is that first interaction with a client and just kind of brainstorming a little bit, talking about dreams, talking about even getting down to budget and what's affordable and what isn't. Because those are important conversations. And I've been doing this for 20 years now, and it's easier for me to have these conversations. 20 years ago, I wasn't coming at you like, "What's your budget?" That wasn't the first question, but now it's important because we could design anything and do anything. So that's a key element in it. But relationships, even with my trades, like yourself, meeting guys like you and seeing your energy and seeing how you're coming and helping us get our renovations done and working with us and wanting to learn how we do it so you can fit into our mold, stuff like that. It's just amazing. I love it. I love the relationship side of it.
It's phenomenal. And then what gives you the confidence now? So like you said, diving into it, and I think we struggle with that a lot, right? Especially young or new entrepreneurs. I don't think it has to do with age, to be honest with you. I think, it doesn't matter what the age is, but the confidence, I know, anyone could have asked me how high to jump and I would have just, I would have got spring poles and gone a little bit higher for them. Until you build up that confidence. Was there a turning point for you that gave you that at some point?
I think you get comfortable and you just become who you are. Yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs fail when they've read a book on how to be an entrepreneur, or they've seen somebody, or they're trying to emulate that person, and then they step outside of who they are and they try to become someone they're not. Yeah, and that can give you confidence, but at the end of the day, if you're not who you are, if you don't understand your values and what you stand for, and what you care about, what you love, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. And once you figure that out, once you understand that, you'll have all the confidence in the world, because you're just being you, and that's the best confidence you could ever have. Yeah. So for me, I found that at some point. I can't remember exactly, where it was. Yeah. My company probably started like most people's. It was just me for a while. Yeah. I hired my first guy, and that was crazy. Yeah. But I was on the tools with a crew of 3 or 4, 10, 11, 12 years into business, right? I think it was 8 or 9, maybe 10 now. It's gone pretty quick. 10 years ago that I got off the tools, but it's been a slow, gradual, it didn't happen overnight. It just, Shane Renovations was not the way it is today, even 5 years ago. Yeah. So it's about change, about adapting, but yeah, the confidence comes from figuring out who you are and what you love. And so now, I walk into a house for the first time, meet some strangers for the first time, and I love it. I'm like, yeah, let's talk. Like, this is great. Yeah. So it's exciting. Yeah. It's fun. So, and that's confidence right there.
Yeah. It rolls off the tongue. Yeah. Fantastic, man. And I think, it goes a long way when you kind of build it up over a long period of time, and also having the right people. So, I mean, one of the questions that gets asked a lot is where'd you find all the answers? I think, some of my guys, I've been plumbing 10 years now, maybe just over 10 years. And, somehow I have the answer for everything. And I don't think it's just the answer, but, the ability to find the answer. And for you in a renovation with multi-trades, we just deal with plumbing, right? It's pretty nice, right? So from a contracting and a design and development, kind of what got you out of that comfort zone? Now you're saying you're design build, and it used to just be you on the tools. Where did you pull the skills from to gain that?
I think, I think as a renovator, if you're going to be a renovator, you need to be a problem solver. Period. That's what renovations are. They're solving problems. Building a new house, you're not going to run into problems. It's all about the design and getting product and getting trades to work together, this and that. But renovations, even sometimes with the best design and a very lengthy, in-depth design phase, you're still going to pull a wall down and it's not framed the way you thought it was, or it's bearing because somebody 15 years ago decided to hack away at it and did some stuff, and you're just like, okay, now we got to figure this out, right?
We did the plumbing from the top.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
The joist didn't matter when it was connected.
Yeah. So for me, I've always loved that part of it too. I like solving problems. And it doesn't get me down. I'm just like, all right, what's next? Let's figure this out. And I would never sit here and say, I'm always right, or I know all the answers. Yeah. But I have an ability to see what it's going to look like at the end. And if you can do that, then you can figure out, what steps and what direction you got to go to get it to look that way. Yeah. So, and then you can think outside the box if you have to. You don't necessarily have to do the same thing with every situation all the time. Sometimes, if you change this a little bit, you're still going to get to this outcome, but every house is different, especially houses we work on. A lot of times we're working on houses that are 100 years old, 125 years old. Yeah, so you got to be ready. You got to be ready to fly by the seat of your pants sometimes. And And sometimes it doesn't work out. I'm not going to sit here and say that, I haven't failed or haven't, had to get myself out of a mistake. But, part of that is admitting that as well. Just say to the client, listen, I'm in a situation here. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get out of it yet, but I will. And that's part of the relationship as well. Just being open and honest with the client and saying, this is what's going on, but we're going to fix it. Yeah. So standing behind it.
That's great. And then so from going to, because for me anyways, it was very hard at the beginning to build a team and then get out of that, being on the tool stage. And one of the things that I've admired from you and your business was, how efficient your team was, and also how happy they were, day in and day out, happy. And from a construction standpoint, no, I'm not saying that we don't work with happy trades, but there's a vibe, you know what I mean? And I remember going to the first site, and I think I was on the tools at the time when we got the first contract with you guys, and I was like, oh, this is different. And then thinking oh, it must just be that project manager. And then going to another site with a different one and being like, oh no, he's pretty happy too. And solutions based and organized. And I think as that grows, how do you get your team to kind of, I hate buying in because I feel like there's an angle there, but just kind of get to the point where they're comfortable and they're confident. And, I feel like you've gotten to the point in your business where you've given them a lot of freedom to be creative on their own. How do you find that type of talent and then also maintain it?
Yeah, I think, first off, I have the greatest team you'll ever find. My guys are fantastic. Yeah. And it has taken a long time to find. It's not just anybody that walks in off the street is going to fit into that mold. And I think you got to figure out what that mold is early, and then find those guys. And my mold is family. Yeah, we say it all the time. We walk around, we're like a little family. We're like 25, family 25. That's what we are. Yeah. We give a shit about each other. We help each other out. And it kind of goes back to, again, me just being who I am. And don't get me wrong, money's important, and all dollars and cents and all that stuff it's important. But it can't be everything. It can't be all about let's pinch every penny and cut everything as much as we can so we make as much as we can. I want to have some fun. Yeah, I'm at work, almost as much as I'm not. So I don't want to go to work every day and be serious and get down on my guys or yell at my guys or this and that, whatever. I want them to have fun because I want to have fun. I don't want to dread going to work. Yeah. And I think that my guys see that fairly quickly. And then they start playing to it, right? Because they know, if I make a mistake, Shane's gonna cut. They know I'm gonna be there behind them, and I'm gonna back them up. And if they do get into hot water, I'll be the first one there to, because I got their back, and I feel the same way. They got my back just as much. So it's been
Taking some time.
It's taken time, no question, but now it's great. It's amazing. Yeah. And I try to create fun events and stuff for my guys, and we'll go to a Jays game, or we'll go bowling, or we'll hang at a Pub Fiction, have some beers, or whatever it is. Yeah, nothing too crazy, and nothing that you got to commit to or anything. But everybody knows it's open, and a lot of my guys, even if I'm not around, just come to the shop at the end of the day and have a beer, and it's just one, sometimes two, and that's it. Just a quick little half hour. Hey, how'd it go today? Or, this is what I did with my family on the weekend. And it's crazy. That stuff, goes a long way. All of a sudden you're hearing about, a guy's family or his wife and his kids, and you start caring. So, yeah, it's really cool. It's fascinating, honestly. It's fantastic. But that's getting back to the relationship part again. That's what I love. That's it. So the money will come. I swear, I promise, the money will come. Yeah. Get the relationship part down. Create a team that feels like a family, and then all of a sudden, people the top guy on the ladder will be the guy in the hole digging because he wants to. He wants to help you out or whatever. So, Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. Nobody looks at someone like, oh, he's the top dog, or the project manager can't do this because I'm the laborer or whatever. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Titles are not important.
Oh, that's awesome. It's crazy, man. I think so I've known you for quite a few years now, and I think going back to it, we deal with a lot of successful businesses, and getting out of that mold of not penny pinching, but actually caring about the end product and caring about the end user, and also, I want to speak. I am just in the trade industry, but at the same time, like the relationships with your clients are for years.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, to the young renovator or, contractor or someone that's getting into business, like, pick your clients just as much as you pick your jobs, right? Like, it's not just the job you want, but it's the client as well. I think it's really important to have them see the value. Because I know from a trades perspective, like, it's phenomenal to see that you guys, like, you want to make sure that we make money. It's not about cutting costs all the time with the trades and getting the lowest price and stuff like that. It's not about paying the most, but I think crossing the bridge to making sure that the relationships that you have as businesses as well as trades relate to your clients as well. So everybody is just efficient.
Yeah, it's important. Like it can't just be all about Shane Renovations. Yeah, and I kind of learned that early on, and we. I kind of wish we still did this, but early on we used to have sub-trade nights where we would just have everybody come in, and we would do a little spiel about how we want to service our clients, just to make sure that our trades understand our mold, our processes, and that to keep sites clean and keep sites safe. And a lot of our clients still live in the houses we're renovating, so that there's a whole other level there that you have to make sure things are safe. You have to, just give it a last little look before you walk out the door. Make sure whatever things are put away so that they're somewhat comfortable during the renovation process, right? So, if it was all about, if I was squeezing my trades all the time, they wouldn't be having fun, and then that wouldn't work. And to me, nobody's more important than anybody else. Yeah. Just because my name is Shane and my company is Shane Renovations, and doesn't mean I'm more important. And if everybody quit, what would I have? If everyone walked away, I wouldn't have anything. So I can't do this without you. I can't do this without my drywaller. I can't do this with my electrician, my project managers, my laborers, my designer, my administrator. I can't do it.
So on that note, we talk about team and giving back. Let's talk about some of the amazing initiatives that you've done for giving back to this great city. Shane headed a build, or I'd say a massive overhaul of this home for Restorations Canada. So do you want to just tell us a bit about that? Like, I mean, I'm blown away. I'm going to push it to a little bit of a limit because I think it's, he's going to underplay it. But I think what he's doing for this city and this community and the people that live in it are phenomenal. So I'll let him tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton's important to me. I love Hamilton. I wasn't born here, but I've been here longer than anywhere else in my life. So for me, this is home. Yeah, and I've watched Hamilton go from not a great place, you kind of didn't want to say you're from Hamilton, to now it's like, what, I'm from Hamilton. Yeah, and you could say it with pride, and you can see things developing downtown. And so giving back has been important. We've tried to stay involved with community events and doing the Ancaster parade and stuff like that. This opportunity I'm going to call it an opportunity, fell into my lap last summer when Restorations Canada, basically that what they do is they house women that are trying to get out of the sex industry. These women have nowhere to go. A lot of them are sometimes being hunted, so it's very difficult. It sounds like, just walk away, but it's not like that. It's very tough. A lot of them don't have skills because they've been pushed into that industry at a very early age. So it's not like they can just get a job somewhere. So what Restorations Canada does is provide temporary housing for these girls. So their model is to have a home. They have 3 girls at a time with full-time staff, and they try to limit to 2 years that the girls are there, but they give them training. So they introduce them to whatever kind of training they're going to need to get a job. So the goal is to obviously to get the woman out of that industry, but to get them back into society in a a sustainable role. So they were looking for a house in the Hamilton area. They were given one, donated one by a company, and but it was in bad shape. It hadn't been lived in a while. And so it was overrun with animals. It was rough. So a little bit of leaking, a little bit of everything. So Jennifer, who works for Restorations, her husband actually worked for me a little bit. She didn't really know what to do with it. She just approached me and said, "Can you just give me some advice? What do I do? What are my steps? How do I get this?" And so I just said, you know what, let me just see the house. Yeah, let's meet there. You can run me through, exactly what you're doing, and then I can try to figure this out. When she told me what Restorations Canada is all about, it just kind of hit me. And when I saw the size of the project, I was like, I took a couple of days, and I thought, you know what, this is why I'm here. This is my company. I can't say I built my company. We built my company. I had a whole bunch of people help me build this company, and I'm here now for a reason, and I can do this. Yeah. So I just called Jen up and I said, you know what, Shane Renovations is going to take care of this project for you, and I had no idea what I was getting involved with. I was just like, yeah, I can do this. This is no problem. Jen told me there is a budget. So I put together like we start every reno. We did all the design work, and we pulled out bearing walls and planned on new kitchen. We added a bathroom, figuring 3 women in a house with 1 bathroom is not ideal. Yeah, so we rearranged the floor plan to keep 3 bedrooms, add a second bathroom, new open concept kitchen area, and all that stuff, and then put together a scope and budget. And the budget was pretty big. I thought, okay, we can we'll pick away at it. We'll see what happens. And the coolest thing was when I started reaching out to the community, and the people that stepped up, guest plumbing included, blew my mind. And it honestly, I got shivers right now. It's been an incredible journey. Just the support, what people have donated, it blows your mind. To date, we have drywall. Actually today it just got primed, and I think, if you understood the size of the renovation,
we can use the term shithole.
Yeah. Okay. Basically,
this is a shithole.
Yeah,
guys.
but I think
this is a shithole that was in a shithole.
So we completely gutted it. We reframed the entire interior. Yep. We replaced every single window and door and the whole thing. All the plumbing, courtesy of guest plumbing, is done. Every piece of plumbing is brand new. The entire house is rewired. Mechanical is all the HVAC is done and reorganized. Insulation, combat foam, they foamed the whole place. Drywall, me and Shane Renovations, Heartwood Renovations, Ambrosio Construction, which we're all supposed to be competitors, whatever that means. But yeah, we all came together as a group and did a bunch of work there and drywalled the whole place. We drywalled the entire house in 5 hours in one day. It was phenomenal. It was fantastic. With my competitors.
Yeah, so to put that in perspective, guys, the Ancaster community is, it's a very strong community, and, there's not a lot of people that take on the magnitude of projects that, Shane and Heartwood and Ambrosio can do. And that's what really blows me away now, because I've never heard of that before. Being part of different construction industries and stuff like that, everybody gets along and that, but these guys came together for a cause, and it wasn't even like, put the weapons away and get together. It was like, we don't have weapons anymore. And I think, what you guys have built, blows me away.
Everyone's just stepping up for this cause. I think it's fantastic. Like, it grabbed me, and now I'm seeing it grab other people, and it's just blown my way how generous people are, and how excited people are to get on with this project. So, it's just shocking. We've probably done $180,000 or $90,000 worth of work, and I think we're out of pocket like maybe $30,000. Like, it's incredible. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, And
it shows the community, right? And how people do want to be involved, and sometimes, when I remember when we were posting about it, a lot of people reached out, and I think you have to want to get involved in something to be able to reach out, but a lot of people find it hard to, right? It's not always donating money. Sometimes it's time. Like, we went in on the weekend. It was phenomenal, right? Like, at the time we were slam busy.
Yeah.
Good,
I wish I was there. I was up north when you guys went in there, but
sure.
The pictures I saw of all your, what'd you have? 7 plumbers? 6 plumbers?
6 or 7 guys. We did the roughing in a day, and it's just great to be a part of, and thankful for. So I thought, you're pretty modest with it, but the amount of time and effort that goes into donating time and effort is hard and extensive, but it's also very rewarding. And I think, being a big part of this community is my hat's off to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm so happy that I was in a position to do this, basically. Yeah. So, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I've always wanted to do is, to go back a little bit is like, if you're not in a position, you can always be giving, and you can always be doing more for the community. But sometimes people forget that it takes a certain amount of ability to have, you had 10 guys volunteer their time. Like, to have a company to get to scale, you have to earn money, and you have to get projects, and you have to be profitable and stuff like that, and you have to be around. So, being able to get to that magnitude, right? Like, maybe you could have volunteered for a day, but I think it goes to show, like, entrepreneurs, that when you get to certain positions and you get to certain points, the amount that you can give and actually be it, everybody can change something, but when you have that magnitude backing you, you can really create change. And I think, especially in these times, during COVID, like, people are creating changes, and it's the entrepreneurs and, day-to-day people, frontline workers and stuff like that. Like, everybody's doing their part. And I think, when you get into, success and entrepreneurship, it takes it to that next level. Doesn't mean you're taking away from people that are doing their individual parts, but as groups, you can really, make a massive impact. You're going to be, think about 2 to 3 women every year, every 2 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people's lives.
I know that's awesome. And and I think when I say, that I was in the position to be able to help out, it wasn't not monetarily, it's more relationship wise. That I knew that I was surrounded with enough people, and it's tough to. It was actually a bit of an eye opener for me when. You get so involved, and you're building your business, and you're meeting clients, and you're doing all these relationships, and all of a sudden, someone says, "Oh yeah, I've heard about you. I really like the way you're running your thing, and I've run into your guys, and everyone seems happy, and I'm just like, oh, someone's noticing. That's awesome." But it's that's kind of cool. The kind of cool part about it, and like a lot of people when I ask, when I explain this restorations, they're like, yeah, we'd love to get involved. That love that you are reaching out to us. Like, that's great. Yeah. But it's been great. The relationship has been phenomenal. So it's just amazing. And
it's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
A ton of fun.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to that person that's on the brink of maybe doing some side jobs or getting into that level of business side of things? What would you give them? Like, what kickstarted you off to go off on your own and get that confidence?
Yeah, I think, my background, I was actually pretty lucky. Back, I started framing houses in the summer after grade 8. Yeah, so I was young. I think, like, I look at my son now. He's going to grade 8 next year, and I'm just like, I was framing when I was his age, but
yeah, it was uphill to school both ways, eh?
yeah, well, yeah, but no, I was lucky. I had an uncle that had a framing crew, just a small crew, and he took me on, and because he was my uncle, you know, he trained me differently than he did other people, and I learned a lot, and I asked a ton of questions, and I think that helped me. That obviously that kick-started me off into understanding, you know, how a house is built, which led to confidence down the road, because now I can look at any building or house or whatever, and I already know, okay, this is how it's built. You know, to an extent, you know, I'm not perfect, but that helped me a ton, and I learned very early on, ask questions. Ask the question. You are not the smartest person in the room. Period. You're not. So that was I asked questions. And if I didn't know, and I surrounded myself with smarter people than me. And that's one of the keys. Hire someone that's smarter than you. Don't hire someone that's not. Like, make sure they're smarter than you, and then learn and ask questions. I remember early on when I, you know, started becoming the project manager, because you know, that's how my company's developed. You know, I was the one hiring trades and on-site project managers, and I had no idea. I would ask the plumber, like, what are you doing here? And I'd get some looks every once in a while, but I would rather ask the question than, you know, later on and be like, oh shoot, you know, we should have done it this way, or so for me, it's knowledge. Ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask the dumb question or whatever. And then don't say no. Don't say no.
Or learn how to say no. Which one is it?
Well, I mean, that comes later on. I mean, you got to learn what your restrictions are, and that'll come at a certain time in your career. But you know, when I started building decks, and then I, you know, slowly got into some basement renos and some bathroom renos, and then because relationships were important, I really not even just naturally kind of built relationships with the clients that I had, and they just kept asking me, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And I thought, yeah, I can, because I have guys like my uncle, or, you know, my trades or whatever, that I can say, hey, the client wants me to do this now. What do you think? And then be like, yeah, let's do it. And that just exploded, and that's how I got to where I am today, really.
It's awesome, and I think, you know, as we meet more people on the podcast, we're finding that the stories are very similar. Where you don't know shit, and you learn a little
really
bit.
Don't. You really don't.
And then you parse the phase over and over again, and you keep going. And I think that, you know, to get into to listeners, like, everybody has a day one, right? Everybody had a first day. Everybody had a big first failure. Everybody had a big first hiccup. Everybody lost some money. And I think it goes a long way in terms of, like, you just keep pushing and keep learning and keep growing, and also be open-minded to new things, and not being the smartest.
Yeah. And reach out. It's funny, like obviously, like, what you know now, you wish you knew back then, right? But now, like just, you know, reaching out to guys like Hartwood and Ambrosio and stuff, and just asking them, you know, how do you do it? How do you do this, or how do you do that? And they're like loving, just discussing it, because you know, and for years ago, you can't ask that guy because he does the same thing you do, and but I think, you know, as entrepreneurs, as renovators, like, we're a group. You know, we do a lot of the things shockingly similar when you start talking. Yeah, and you can learn so much from each other. It blows my mind. So reach out. Like, if you're thinking, you know, I think I have enough skills, I think I have, you know, this, and it's time to start my own business, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody who already does it. And just take them out for coffee. Shoot the shit with them and just say, hey, what am I getting into? What do I need to know? What should I have? This, you know, all this stuff. And don't be afraid to do that, because most people, myself included, love that stuff. Love it. I love talking to people about it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only piece of advice that I would give on top of that is just like, don't ask twice, right? Don't ask the same question twice, and
Right.
then you start wasting the guy's
Yeah.
time.
Well, you are dealing with entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So you got to get to the point.
Yeah,
But,
the time is valuable.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about getting punched in the face. So we're talking a little bit about COVID. So COVID-19, obviously the pandemic that's going on right now, it's definitely affected business. It's definitely affected personal life, stuff like that. Like, as you guys can see, we measured each other out. He had to push his chair back a little bit before this. But, how did I mean, we talked a lot during the beginning of it, and I think, we were both struggling quite a bit with it, especially mentally and personally. How have you, because we had a great conversation today. It was very positive, a lot of high energy. So how'd you turn it around, man? Like, what are you doing now that's different? What have you, give me some tips and tricks, especially for the industry and also like individual life. You got two young kids or middle-aged kids. Like, what do you do? How do you handle it?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. There's no question about that. Yeah, as an entrepreneur, you got your business is ticking. You're just like kicking ass, and then all of a sudden this thing out of nowhere shuts you down, and the government is literally telling you, even though you're fully capable of working and you have lots of work lined up, that you're not allowed to do it. So yeah, mentally that was a challenge. It took a week or two to wrap my head around that and to accept it and understand it and respect it. But I think, once you kind of go through that, if, again, going back to that entrepreneurial spirit, now it's like, okay, this is an opportunity. So what is the opportunity? How can I use this to make sure that I don't take two steps backwards? That I'm continually moving this forward, even though it's an entirely different way of moving things forward than you might have thought of on January 1st, when you were like, okay, new year, 2020, let's crush it. So, so now I'm like, figuring out all these government subsidies and trying to figure out how to make this work and trying to understand, what are the opportunities. So, that I'm given right now. I can't do more construction work. And, we have a few projects that we're finishing up, but I can't start anything new. So we're going to have this time. I have this workforce, these great guys that I don't want to just send packing and go home. So we're gonna use this opportunity to kind of get ahead. So I've met with my guys. We sat down and I said, all right, guys, all that stuff we walk by and be like, oh, I wish I had time to get that done. Or, whenever, on a weekend or whatever, I'm going to clean that up or I'm going to organize that or whatever. Now's the time. Now's the time to do it. So that's our goal right now is we're trying to, just brainstorm some things and figure out how, what we can do to kind of set up the shop or set up the yard or the office and, work on processes, edit processes, contracts, all these things that you just like wish we had time for. Now we have the time for. So we're gonna use it, and we're gonna try to get as much of that stuff done as possible. And it's like you and I were talking about earlier, like, a week ago, I was just like, man, I just want to go back to work. Like, I just want the government to lift this ban and let's get going. But now I'm like, I could use a couple of months. Like, there's a lot of stuff I can get fixed here and put into place. And because it's gonna make us more prepared, and it's gonna make us stronger. My team's gonna come. I think we're gonna mold as a team even more. Because we're gonna be doing these infrastructure projects and all this stuff that that we've been wanting to do. And as a team now we're doing it. We'll follow all the rules. We'll 6 foot social distancing, just a couple of guys on each thing. But I'm going to use this as an opportunity just to move some things forward.
Yeah, no, like from our standpoint, for instance, myself, it was the first couple of weeks, and we talked quite a bit. It was super challenging. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting taken over, and I wanted to respect everybody's situation, and it's a very serious health threat, and frontline workers are taking a huge risk going in every day and thankful that people are doing it, and people in the grocery stores and paramedics and police officers and stuff like that. And in our industry, some things are definitely a necessity. Like, if we have a leak, we have to go. If we have, finish someone's home because they've got an open window, like, you know what I mean? It's getting to the point where, finishing that stuff up. But then from a business standpoint and an entrepreneurial standpoint, I think, once you get over that hurdle and you see, like, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us, right? And, going that extra mile and digging deep and coming up with solutions. And one of the things that we kind of struggled with at the beginning is actually, like, kind of motivating us now, which is think about 5 years ago what your biggest hurdle was. That biggest challenge. It was overwhelming. It was, challenging or stressful, whatever you want to call it. You couldn't sleep. You were angry or frustrated. And then look at the magnitude of that problem today.
Yeah.
Right? And how minuscule it is and how you just, you jump over it. So let's, as entrepreneurs and people, not just entrepreneurs, but people, if you got your kids at home too much, right? Think about 5 years from now, you're going to be like, oh, I want my kid back.
I know that's the other thing that's been great. Is the spare time, really, is the amount of time that I'm with my kids now, and the amount of time that we're in my house. Yeah, because as a business owner, you're working to that last minute, and then you're like, okay, the kids, let's go. Let's, you don't want to spend a half an hour cooking or, especially, a half hour cleaning afterwards. So it's restaurant life, right? It's like my kids can go into a restaurant and order, like, they're super confident. Yeah, because they've been just, it's just part of life. We just, go out for dinner. So I have not cooked so much in the last 2 weeks. I've cooked more than my entire life combined. But it's been great. It's been great. And it's, it's connecting more with my kids that way. And I think that too has helped me kind of get out of the negative space I was in when this kind of started, and realizing, when you realize you don't have any control, it's hard to manage. It's hard to, but yeah, now seeing, there, like, I don't want to downplay COVID. I know it's terrible. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of people putting their lives on the, on the line for us, especially people in hospitals and firefighters and policemen and all that kind of stuff. But there is a few things that, have come about that, even like some of my friends, like we're FaceTiming and Zoom meetings more, and it's almost like I'm almost seeing them a little bit more often, and it's because we're home, right? We're not going out, to a restaurant for 4 or 5 hours, and all those types of things. So there is silver linings, and I think as entrepreneurs, I think that's where we kind of jump on stuff like that and start seeing little positives in what is an incredibly, I don't know how else, just crazy time. Like, it's just mind blowing what's going on. So.
Yeah, and I don't think we don't have to be upset about the fact that you can look at some positives in such a negative situation. Right?
No. I think I mean, this is pretty new. This is like a couple of days that I'm like, yeah, okay, I can take advantage of this. I can use this somehow. So
and light another match underneath you. On exactly. Get fired up a little bit more.
Yeah, and I've heard one of the biggest things I've heard, especially in the last little while, because now there are some governments talking about how we're going to get back, how we're going to slowly open things up, and so the talk is there. And a lot of people are like, well, it's never going to be the same. It's, it's going to be a new normal, and it's going to be really tough, and it's going to be this, and the economy's going to tank, and there's a lot of kind of fire and brimstone for when, once we get past COVID-19. But I look at that and I think, no. When you're an entrepreneur, when you have that spirit, you're going to come out of this and you're going to fight, and it's going to be better. Yeah. I don't think the new norm is going to be worse than it was. I don't think it'll be the same as it was, but I believe it's going to be better. I think we're going to come out stronger. I think we're going to do things better. We're going to be more efficient because we've been through this, and now we're learning. Like, we need to be more efficient. We need to be prepared for the unthinkable. Yeah, because it's happening. So I really believe we're going to come out stronger, and it's going to be on the backs of the entrepreneurs.
Yeah, man, and it's that positive attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, guys, to wrap up this podcast, Shane, thank you so much for coming on board and sharing your story and sharing a little bit about your vision and your mission. All his information is going to be on the podcast, online, on all the social media platforms at Shane Renovations. We'll leave his personal account out of it. But I want everybody to remember, so thank you, Shane.
Yeah, thank you. This was great. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
So I want everybody to think, like, why not me? Why not now? It's one of those things that really comes down to it, and let's try to be positive and bring each other up and support the people that need the help. And it's just been it's been a great opportunity.
Let's quit. I understand. There's a lot of it's negative. It's a difficult time. It's difficult for a lot of different people, but it's let's not focus on the negative numbers. Let's focus on the positive, and let's say, hey, this is what I can do now to further this, or this is how I can help this person, or this is whatever it is. But let's look at that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan.